So, welcome to episode 4 of CopTalk, and we're back, joined by Mark and Ed. How you guys doing?
Good and good.
Good. Real good. Hey, we didn't do intros last week, but for people that are just joining us and maybe didn't listen to the first one, we could do a quick intro. I'm Mark. My brother Jim actually started CopTalk, and he passed away last year, so we decided to bring the podcast back. So Brent and me and Ed decided to get together and do the podcast, and you could read our intros on the website, what we're all about and our history.
Yeah. How many years in law enforcement for you?
For me,
Ed?
Probably a combined total in sworn and in the arena 20.
And then 25 for me as reserve. So quite a couple years, 1 or 2 years.
that's a lot of time.
Yeah, no kidding. Like almost like a career. Good or bad, well, you'll find out about that at later shows. So that'll keep people coming back. That's what we're here to do. So do you guys have anything else to follow up for last week or whatever, 2 weeks ago? Or do you just want to jump right into questions?
I think we
I'd
could
go
just jump
jump in.
right in.
Go ahead.
What
jump
do you
in.
think, Ed?
I'd say jump in.
Okay, both feet. Here we go. So, thanks to Mary for sending this in. The vests that they put on people. I first noticed this when my assistant was arrested for the death of her newborn after she tried to hide it. I have noticed it a lot since. Most recently, the killer of Charlie Kirk was wearing one of these vests. What I've noticed and was wondering about is suspects when arrested and brought into court in a vest. My question is why they don't appear to have a shirt underneath them. I'm curious why this is. Also, cops rock. Love and respect, and thank you for your service.
I think the high profile people like that, they don't want to have a Lee Harvey Oswald type situation, so they try to protect as much as they can to keep them alive for court.
So you're saying it's bulletproof?
Well, bullet resistant. I never say nothing's bulletproof, but it's resistant anyway.
That's a good point, yeah. Mark, any points on that? Because I know I got a point or two.
Well, first off, Mary, thanks for your support, and we appreciate it. As for the question, I think there's a lot of times when there's a high profile or a really sensitive case that's likely to provoke anger or outrage, they put some of them in bullet resistant vests for their own protection from the public, people in the courtroom, I guess even other inmates during transport. As for looking like they don't wear shirts underneath, I'm not sure about that. Maybe they're just wearing a T-shirt, but I've seen them with their jumpsuits on with the vest on over that.
Okay, so you want to know the real answer? I think there's 2 different kinds of vests. So clearly bullet-resistant vests we've seen before. The second one, because I looked up the picture of the Charlie Kirk murderer dude. So I believe it's an anti-suicide smock. So sleeveless, no shirt underneath, no way for them to create a noose or any type of thing like that to commit suicide. And that was something that, in doing some research on that, it looks like that's a thing now. They're made out of like a smooth material that won't knot up. Like if they were to get it, they don't have sleeves, so they can't hang themselves. And a bunch of other stuff, because the one that he was wearing looks like he's wearing a garbage bag made out of ripstop nylon.
That's probably more likely. I think that guy that killed the healthcare executive had one of those on too, and that sounds about right.
Yeah, so
especially like this one here. She said the woman was arrested for the death of her newborn after she tried to hide it. So
right.
And that could cause outrage to some people, but also suicide. They probably think about suicide. So I didn't think about that, Brent. Good call.
And there is, and I think I'll probably do a post on the site about this. I'm going to probably start doing that as we move forward, try to go back through some of our questions and then just put them on the website also, so that we can sort of show what kind of questions we're answering during the shows. But there's a whole fashionable line of this type of stuff. So you can get like bedding and blankets and all these anti-suicide style things that they use in the jails usually. So, or mental institutions. So yeah, interesting. I honestly didn't know that. I had not seen that. I'm pretty used to seeing, bullet resistant stuff on these people, but that's about it. So, all right. Well, that's a good question. Thanks, Mary, for the question. Move on to question number 2. Retrieving items. I used to live in Washington State, but after my mother passed away, I had to move back to Georgia. I asked a friend to go to my old place and pick up some of my things, including my AirPods. She managed to retrieve some items, but then stopped responding to my phone calls and texts. Recently, I started tracking my AirPods and discovered that they are at her mom's house. Should I contact the police to help me get my belongings back?
I'd say if they're in Georgia and the AirPods are in Washington State, they could always try contacting the police or the sheriff's department where the AirPods are pinging. See, an officer can go to the residence and explain the AirPods are pinging there, but if the friend denies having them, there's really nothing the officer could do, and you probably won't see him again. Now, if you were in the same state and city, you could call the police for civil standby. We covered that on one of our other podcasts. But it sounds like they're in different states, so I would say good luck.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
doesn't it
exactly.
sort of at some point it just becomes a civil issue, right?
Right. She could always try sending the mother a letter explaining the situation. Maybe the friend's mother doesn't even know about it. Maybe send a letter to the mother and see if she could convince her daughter to return the AirPods or send a text. She said that the friend wasn't responding, but if she still gets text, maybe she could say, "Hey, I just found out they're at your mom's house. I'm going to contact the police. Let me know how you get them back."
Yeah. I'd say in the end, you probably want to stop calling this person a friend
Right. Right.
because I think they got their AirPods and now they're cool. So yeah, that's a messy situation. Like all of these, sort of issues with property always tend to be. Ed, anything to add to that? Would you just go
No,
over
not
there
at
and kick
all.
the door in and grab the
No,
AirPods?
I'd say for all the heartache this guy or gal is going through, I would just say, hey, let it go and go buy some new ones and call it good.
I mean, the threes just came out, so you'd be getting a new model too.
Yeah. What are they, like
What,
$150 or something?
Yeah.
okay,
And then
that-
there's Apple tax in there, I think, though.
yeah. So that's,
Consider a lesson learned.
Yeah.
exactly.
Don't
Just
give
move
your
along
friends
and
stuff.
let that stuff go,
Don't give friends cool stuff. There you go.
Make sure you take all your stuff when you move out of state.
That's probably a good point. Okay. Thanks for that question. Hopefully we answered it. And I guess good luck on getting your AirPods back. But, Apple Store sells them, so just go grab some. Right. Question 3, becoming a cop. Good afternoon. I had a question on if I would be eligible to become a cop. I had a felony conviction at 19 for distributing marijuana in the state of New Jersey. I'm 29. Okay, that's quite a few years. Changed my life around, got it expunged, and have been serving in the United States Marines for 2 years. Would I still be able to join or even be considered? Thank you.
I'd say when a conviction is expunged, it means the legal record is sealed or erased in the eyes of the law. And in most cases, once it's expunged, you're legally allowed to say it never happened, including on job or housing applications. Even though it may not show the conviction, if law enforcement, they do a thorough background check, it would probably show up on their end. Honesty is the best thing with the police department. I'd apply for the position, and if you get an interview, be 100% honest, saying, "Hey, look, it was 10 years ago. I changed my life around. The record was expunged. I've been in the
I'm in the
Marines for 2
military."
years."
Yeah.
And while a felony usually disqualifies people from a hiring process, a nonviolent felony at a young age might be a rare exception, and some agencies might appreciate your honesty and give you a shot.
And put you on the narcotics unit.
Yeah.
And toss in the advantage of having been in the Marines too. That helps a lot.
Well, yeah, for sure, right? Like totally different direction of life. And it's marijuana.
Exactly.
Like these days, it's a big difference back then than
Yeah, if the
I'm
guy
sure by
said, "Hey,
now-
look, I just got out of jail and I'm clean now," yeah, I'd say good luck with that. But being in the Marines and it's been 10
Yeah.
years,
Go for
you
it,
might get a
dude.
shot.
Yeah, you
go
can kiss
for it.
off 19 years old to doing dumb stuff.
Yeah, and I think most people that are currently cops all did dumb stuff when they were 19. So
Yeah.
yeah, it would be interesting to see. Maybe he'll get that position. If not, try a different department or try a different, law enforcement entity.
Well,
and
that's
see.
the biggest thing is you don't always get in the first shot. I mean, put your application in several different, departments, sheriff's departments, police departments, probation, just to get your foot in the door somewhere.
Yeah, and you can also go into some of those departments in other positions, like I did as a reserve, work up, and then potentially transfer right in because you build that trust within the department itself.
Right.
So,
Well, good luck.
ways. Yeah, multiple ways. Don't not do it. if that's what you want to do, for sure.
If it does work out for him, maybe you'll let us know how it turned out.
That'd be great.
Yeah. All right, let's hurry up and get to question 8. We got 4 more to go through here first.
We're getting there. We're getting there, Mark. It's okay.
Yeah, we're jumping all over the place.
All right, question 4. So, divorce and property. So, my daughter is getting divorced from a short marriage. Her ex has taken a car that is in my daughter's name and insured in her name only. It is known where the car is, and she has tried to pair a new key to it with no success as of now. My question is this a situation that she should have the police tow the car to an impound yard and have it shipped to the dealer from there, or do the police not want to get involved at all? The divorce addendum says he is not authorized to use the vehicle. She has a copy of the title and the registration.
If the divorce is not final and the judge hasn't determined that, I would assume the cops are not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
They wouldn't tow it to an impound yard anyway. It's just, it's not their place to do that. I'd say if the divorce papers show he's not authorized to use the car and the title's in her name alone, you should call the police or sheriff's department for a civil standby. Again, listen to our other podcast to see what a civil standby is. And she could tell the officer the car is hers, have him stand by while she has the car towed herself. She would just need to prove she's the only one on the title and that he's refusing to give it to her. But yeah, the police aren't going to tow it for you and take it to a dealer. You'd have to go there with your own tow truck and have an officer stand by.
Doesn't this get way more complicated, though, if it's on private property, like the person's home property?
Well, that and are they still legally still married? It's everybody's property, both of them, until the judge determines otherwise.
Yeah, that's a good point. So
I think
maybe
most officers would probably say, hey, look, if this thing's going through divorce, we can't do anything. She may have to try to have her attorney get something from the judge to say, hey, it's her car. She needs to
give it to her. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
What a mess that could be. Holy smokes.
And they usually are.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if it's not finalized, like you were saying.
And then when he gets ordered to return the car, it's probably going to have sugar in the gas tank and flat tires.
True, yeah.
Did you just laugh?
Yeah, unfortunately. It's like, people are so petty nowadays. Of course, I've seen a lot of that stuff back in the day. Some of the stuff they do to each other just to be spiteful is so ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah, like, why'd you take the doors off my car, Ed?
Yeah, it's like, well, we wanted to judge so we can have it in two. It's both ours. It's like cut the car in half, took one half.
Oh, dude, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, here's your half. I gave you the passenger side.
Yeah. I took the engine. You can have the gas tank.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Well, I hope we answered that question because that is a sticky situation that you'll probably have to get more legal advice than any cops can ever give you. All right. Question 5. Pursuits. Oh, this should be good. All right. So, wondering the most intense or dangerous pursuits you've been in. And why do some police agencies, especially here in California, ban the police from chasing anybody? Seems that would only encourage criminals in those areas, knowing the police will not chase them.
We'll let Brent go first. What was your most dangerous pursuit? Or
I don't even think so in all the time that I worked.
Okay, riding with Jim then. There had to be some crazy ones with Jim.
Yeah, no, we definitely had some crazy ones for there, but most of those were just like, failure to yield, axe murderers that just wanted to jump on Jim's hood to give themselves up. All the normal stuff, right?
But boring ones then.
And I mean, honestly, as much work as I did during those years, I wasn't on the street enough every day to sort of get into those things. We had crazy responses to things for sure, bank robberies, other stuff like that did stuff. But I definitely saw more crazy accidents than I saw pursuits.
How about you, Ed?
Ed's
craziest car pursuit was probably the one where you were my cover car. I don't know if you were a canine then when that guy flipped the U-turn and came back at me head on.
Oh, that's when you said, holy shit, because you're...
Yeah, I grabbed that. Well, I was bracing myself for the impact of the head-on collision. I grabbed the steering wheel. I had the mic in my hand. Of course, I clenched it too, which opened the mic. And all I could think to myself was, holy poop. And then they came over the air and dispatch abruptly told me that inappropriate language. I'm like, really? Yeah, you have no idea what I just almost did, poop my pants here.
And you couldn't even prove it because back then, did you even have cameras?
No, but we went down Hanlon Way towards Willow Pass. It's a car and a half wide street. You know where that's at in West Pitt. He spun a U-turn down at the bottom, came back at me head on it, and just about the time we were going to hit, he went off to his right, and I was like, oh, damn, he almost killed me. And I didn't wear my seatbelt back in the day either, so that would have been a face into
one of those guys.
Windshield and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, you had Ed sticking halfway through it.
Yeah, Ed and Ford.
I'm sure Mark's had a few.
Oh, yeah. Man, I've been lots and lots, but probably the most dangerous and fun one was I was a motor officer on a Kawasaki KZ1000, and I was chasing a Mercedes SL 500 where suspects had just shot at somebody. And it was a fun pursuit. They would pull ahead of me on some of the straightaways, and I'd catch up to them on the turns. They tossed a gun during it. But that was a high-speed pursuit on the motorcycle. It was a lot of fun. They ended up going into a neighborhood, and they lost me going around a corner, and they had units set up on a perimeter, but all of a sudden the cars like vanished, just out of nowhere to be found on that block. And our sergeant, after we looked for a while, he goes, oh, they must have got out of the perimeter. Let's clear. And I stayed there with a sheriff's deputy out of Bay Point, and I started going house to house, looking over the fence, and sure enough, there it was on a side yard. And so I got on the radio, everybody came back, and we ended up going in to get the guy. But that was a really fun one on the motorcycle.
Those Kawasaki's are definitely known for their top speed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they get a little hairy on the freeway going well over 100, the windshield's starting to vibrate. And
isn't that like downhill with wind at your back, though? I mean,
and as for the other part of that question, why, especially here in California, because I know I think Oakland's getting ready to change their pursuit policy, but, all the, I'll say liberals, a lot of the liberals want, anti-police and whatnot. They force the police departments to change a pursuit policy to where they couldn't chase somebody. They almost had to be just like a on-view murder suspect to be able to chase them. And it was frustrating because the police would show up at a burglary and they'd see people flee the store, jump in a car and take off, and the police couldn't chase them because it wasn't a violent felony. So it does give people the idea, hey, the police are going to show up. They can't chase us, which is totally true. So hopefully a lot of these departments like Oakland, they're going to start changing their pursuit policy to where you could chase them. I remember when me and Ed were a cop, we chased people till the wheels fell off the car. And
literally.
People knew that we got a lot more people that stopped for the pursuits than ran.
Right. That's because, there are still agencies that, for the most part, will never cancel pursuits and will literally follow you until your car explodes. And that would be California Highway Patrol for sure.
Yeah, DPS does that here too, except they get the helicopter involved, and you're pretty much toast then.
Yeah, so between the helicopter, can't outrun radios, guys, right? So, between radios, helicopters, and all that, they'll find you. Plus, with all the cameras these days, they probably already have your plate, know your car, know your age, all that kind of stuff. But CHP is pretty ruthless. They will chase you till the end of time.
They will. Till whoever runs out of gas first.
Right. Oh, they'll just replace you. There's way more cop cars.
And they tag team you to the county line. Hey, dude, you take it. I'm out of gas.
Tag. You're it.
I think San Francisco just had a operation where San Francisco has a problem. Well, a lot of cities do, with people on dirt bikes. They get out doing wheelies on the streets and just getting all crazy, taking over intersections. And it's like a sideshow, but with motorcycles. And San Francisco just had an operation where they were trying to bust all these dirt bikes, and they ended up using drones and helicopters and license plate readers, and they didn't want to chase them on the street because it was too dangerous. But with all that technology, they ended up finding, I think, 8 of them. They towed the motorcycles and a quad and arrested the people. So there's a lot more technology now with drones and helicopters and stuff to try to keep pursuits safer.
Yeah, and there's legitimate times that you call them off because it's just too dangerous, right? Plain and simple. You just give up that day and you find the guy another day.
Risk versus reward. Depends on the crime and everything.
For sure. But if it's like, just speeding initially and then failure to yield, is it worth everybody dying? Right? It's probably not, right?
Well, in our city, what they started doing back when I was on duty is they would get off the freeway and then go up a off ramp and start going the wrong way on the freeway. And the police can't do that. The police would be on the other side of the freeway trying to tail it. But yeah, people just started driving so crazy and dangerous that they knew the police officers weren't going to be able to chase them.
Yeah, that's never good.
As wild as it's gone, my very first one was 1991, and I chased a guy, and I didn't even know why I was chasing him. He pulled out of a Shell gas station on the street there and went straight down to the highway, went eastbound on the highway. Second car pops in behind me. We're going like 110. The second car calls out the speed, and the sergeant almost had a heart attack, telling me to 1022. Went back to the gas station. I thought he just did a 211 there. So I go back there, and he goes, "Oh, no, he didn't pay for $5 worth of gas." And I'm like, oh, boy.
God.
So, and the guy thought that I knew who he was. He turned himself in 3 days later and ratted himself out. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm going 110 for you don't even know what you're chasing them for. To nowadays, you can't even chase them if they're a felon. It's completely out of whack.
Completely different.
When my brother Jim used to chase people anywhere and everywhere, I mean, his sergeant would be calling for him, your location, and he would just say nothing. And he'd
I remember one
Oakland.
where, Oakland. I remember the Oakland ones.
Yeah.
Be like, which side of the tunnel are you on? And he's like, the Oakland side. We're like, we're not coming for you.
Being a canine, I got called to a pursuit, and I was quite a ways back, and they're saying, get the canine up here, and I'm driving as fast as I can. Went through Lafayette, went through the Caldecott Tunnel. And I get into Oakland, and I still hadn't caught up to the pursuit yet. But then I started losing radio contact, and I said, oh, crap, my gas gauge was getting low. That's all I need to do is run out of gas with no radio contact in Oakland.
In the middle of Oakland.
Yeah. So,
was that the one where a real estate sergeant now was involved?
Yes.
Was it? Yeah, I remember hearing about that. It was a 45-mile pursuit.
Yeah, there was some. He got into some crazy pursuits. There's no question about that. I don't.
All right, we're getting closer to question 8. Let's go.
We are. It's true.
I got no clue on 6. That one's just part of my hair.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm going to try to read through this and see what we can make of it.
I don't even have an answer for this one.
Please avoid using my name. Thank you. We shall, because you didn't give it. So, what are the typical signs of a group of people planning a kidnapping against a person, and what to do in this type of situation? Let's just start there.
How do you even know who's
people are showing up at your house with ropes and blindfolds and handcuffs and whatnot? It might be a typical sign.
Could be an FBI clue, as they call it.
That would definitely make you a detective.
Right.
So what do you do in this situation? You call the police, I guess, right? And then figure it out from there. That's all you could do.
Yeah. Joking aside, I mean, you need more information on this one. Is what makes them think that they're going to be kidnapped? Did they get phone threats? Did somebody threaten them? There's just a lot more information we need. And what to do in the situation, like Brent says. I mean, lock your door. If you see anything suspicious, call the police. But I don't think there's a typical sign of a group of people planning a kidnapping.
I can't say this much. Sex trafficking is, to my surprise, even 7 or 8 years ago, working as security for probation, they came back from a seminar, and some of the most hardcore probation officers I'd seen were nearly in tears trying to explain to me what they had learned. And I'm like, wow, is it really that bad? And they're like, yeah, you have no clue on what's going on behind the scenes. But
yeah,
I can imagine now with the 25 million people that scooted in the last 4 years, how many disappeared into that type of area.
It's not getting better. I've listened to a few shows about it, and it's pretty much just a nightmare.
Yeah. No, like I say, I was clueless until the probation people came back from a seminar, and I was like, really? I didn't even know that was a thing in the United States. I knew it was overseas, but not here.
Yeah. Sex crimes in general, and then obviously sex crimes involving kids is even more crazy and awful. Whoever does that type of work out there, hats off, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be wrenching.
Yeah. So, especially, with kids, oh man, it'd be crazy. So this continues. So moron.
She called us a moron?
I guess they know us. So what are the signs of planned kidnapping against someone for the purpose of bringing them into sex trafficking, sex rings? Well, I know we're not pros on this stuff, but this is happening all the time, right? Happening on the internet, happening all sorts of different ways. I've heard in schools, I've heard all these different things, right? So there's definitely people out there that can talk to these points way better than we can, like professionals in this whole thing. So if those types of things, if you think that type of thing is happening, it's time to go find and get some help that's really good at this type of thing for identifying it and also understanding what to do in that type of situation. How do the police typically respond to situations like these? Did
Well,
you
it's kind of
guys
difficult
ever?
at times, I think, because a lot of this could happen where you got the young girls, they go to Vegas or Los Angeles looking for a future, and then people try to befriend them and bring them right into sex rings and whatnot. So unless somebody actually goes to the police and says they need help, or if the police bust a sex ring and find the victims, the police would basically respond to calls. If somebody calls and says, "Hey, I need help. I'm in this situation," or something.
Yeah, find the people that are really good at this would be my
Right.
suggestion, right?
There's
Find
people
the
specialize in this type of thing.
super professional people that handle this every day and know exactly what to do, and you'd
And there's
probably be
phone
helping
numbers they
others
could call too.
for sure. Yeah. And then it just says, is there a specific name for sex rings in the court of law? Not sex trafficking. And I don't know what it would be other than I've always heard it referred to as like a sex ring or something like that, unless you guys have cool names for it.
Nope.
A hootenanny? That would be a new one.
Yeah, it could be in the deep south.
So we will move to, I mean, we tried. I don't know what we can do with that one other than that. I would say usually questions like this sometimes mean that somebody is having this type of thing happen or they're wanting to know what to look for. And either of those cases, well worth doing some research or talking to some people that are really good at that type of stuff, and they will definitely help walk you through some of those things. There's many places that help with that type of stuff, especially
Yeah, a
if
lot of these questions, we could just give our opinions. It's not legal advice or
right.
telling you what to do. It's just our opinions on these things.
That's all
Sure,
we can
the
give.
larger cities deal with this a lot more frequently than smaller towns out in
Sure.
the farm.
Yeah, and I know there's probably tenfold more support for women in these types of situations than there is for men, but apparently men are a thing too. So it's kind of just a disaster. Hopefully it gets better. All right, question 7. We're almost at 8, Mark. Just hold on. Aftermarket tail lamps. Are aftermarket clear tail lamps with a red bulb okay? The statute just says, and sadly, I don't know where this statute is from, but it's out
Maybe
there
that was the
somewhere.
price.
169.50 rear lamps. Every motor vehicle and every vehicle that is being drawn at the end of a train of vehicles must be equipped with at least one tail lamp exhibiting a red light plainly visible from a distance of 500 feet to the rear. So he says it seems okay. Well, I don't think that's the right section for taillights. So I would say probably want to check into something that's before the horse and cart. That would probably be the first thing. But I can tell you that many aftermarket clear taillights are completely illegal. It doesn't matter what the bulb is because they don't retain the ratings that are needed to be met by places like FMVSS and SAE and all of these other governing bodies that deal with that. Because most of those aftermarket taillights are just being shipped in from China or overseas, and they're trash, right? So you really have to be careful with this because your car will get towed.
And that's another reason to let us know where you're writing from so we know what state. But I think in most states, especially like California, they have regulations that any modification from stock OEM parts is illegal. And while some officers may not make a stop for it, it's definitely probable cause for a stop because the lights aren't stock and they're aftermarket. So if a cop wants to stop you, that'd be a good reason for it because those lights are not legal.
Yeah, like when Ed's doing his sideshows in the weekend, he might get pulled over, and they'll be
My
like,
diesel,
"Sir, your taillights
what
are
the diesel
illegal."
do, yeah.
Aftermarket equipment, I just saw something now where on Facebook or Instagram, they're selling these license plates that it puts like a visual image of your California plate and whatnot on. And it looks good. And at nighttime, you could flip a switch and it just goes black. Nothing there. So
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy, some of the stuff they sell.
those like LCD style ones, which I think they're e-ink, like almost like a Kindle, right? So Those are legal. Those are legal in California.
For license plates?
They sure, yeah, absolutely. And they're like $600. You buy them. You have to register them through DMV.
I don't know. You could shut those off at nighttime, and there's nothing.
No, I don't think those models are legal.
Yeah, these here, you could flip a switch, and your license plate basically disappears. So if there's, somebody wants to cross a bridge and not have to pay or in a pursuit, they could shut it off.
Isn't that how James Bond used to do it? Flip a switch and the license plate flipped around. And the car changes color.
What they had down here for years, and while they had camera enforcement going on, was the plastic lens that goes over there because the cameras hit the plate at an angle. It would blur the numbers out. And I've actually been caught a couple of times in those too, and I was just dumbfounded at how well the picture came out of me, happily behind the wheel speeding.
Like you behind the wheel, yeah.
Yeah, me behind the wheel, and then, of course, I'll shot at the license plate. It's like, they got me this time. But
going 110 miles an hour.
Yeah. No, we used to do. I remember photo radar used to be a thing, right? You'd park the whatever vehicle out there. It would take pictures. And then, like, all of a sudden, it just went away. So the reason it went away is because it caught so many people driving with the wrong wife.
Yeah, down here, it went to the wayside because our revised statutes state that you have to physically serve the person with a ticket in that particular case and serve them. So if you didn't answer to that thing showing your picture, an officer of the court would have to come out to your house, give it to you, and say, "Okay, you got to sign this," and then they could subpoena you in the court. But other than that, that's why everything fell off at down here.
Yeah, the department that I worked with, they used to have, you had to come in and identify yourself in the photo and then receive the ticket. And then what would happen is the wives would show up for the husbands and be like, "Well, that is my husband, but that's not me."
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't come up with if the car was involved in a speeding incident, we're going to tag it onto your registration.
Yeah, now it's different, right? Because red light cameras they'll just rat you out and send you tickets for free.
Right.
All day long. Hopefully that doesn't, they've been talk about that happening at the toll gates also for speeding, which is interesting, right? Because now there's no toll takers in any of California bridges, at least that I know of.
Right.
So you go through at 80 and then you get a ticket and a toll. Thank you. Come again.
They nail you for both of them, huh?
Yeah, no, they would.
That's funny.
Two different things. Or toll evasion's the big one that we see up here all the time. So people just driving with paper plates or whatever, or make up your own plate. All right. It's time for question 8.
Geez, here we go. Mark, this is all yours.
Yeah, you can answer this one. Okay. I think this might even be addressed to Mark directly.
Right.
Mark, I live in Michigan, and I would like to know if it's illegal or legal to be a female and drive topless. The heat gets bad, and the girls are big. I have the AC going, and my windows are tinted, just not tinted enough not to see through them. LOL.
That would be a first for me, but very intriguing. And she would probably get pulled over a lot. Every time, like in briefing, the other officers would probably go, "Hey, look for this car, blah, 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 license plate. She drives around topless." You'd probably get stopped everywhere.
Habitual offender.
Yeah. But, I looked up the Michigan laws, and it states only the top 4 inches of the driver and passenger window can be tinted, and it's illegal to tint the whole window. So that 4 inches is not going to cover the big girls.
Put it down 4 inches off the top of the door.
While many motorists might enjoy seeing a topless woman driving around, I think it could be considered indecent exposure and, more importantly, a distraction that could cause an accident. Somebody looks over and they see a topless female, and all of a sudden they rear in the car in front of them. But just wear a itsy bitsy teeny weeny bikini to stay legal and cool.
Right.
Well, that was kind of a letdown, the response. You guys jump in.
I'm sorry. It just never happened to me. So I don't even know how to reply. I mean, I wish, but
yeah,
that only happens in movies, at least for the most.
Could you imagine that? You pull over a car and you walk up and she's topless. I mean, you'd kind of get tongue-tied.
Would be like, "Thank you. Have a nice day."
Right.
Right.
All right. Question number 9. And to whoever sent in question 8, thank you. Keep the amazing questions coming.
Well, they could always send a picture in to see how much we could see through the windows.
There's the detective side of Mark coming out.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Could you please provide evidence of this?
We can make that judgment call on the next podcast.
Right.
Oh my God, that would be. Now we're just going to get a bunch of topless pictures.
I can imagine you're going to get hundreds of pictures now.
Yeah,
Things
I'll
you
send
never
them all
wanted
to you. Ed. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Let's
negative
see.
ghostwriter.
Question 9. I'm writing a screenplay right now, and I want to make sure I portray police protocol correctly. So my question is, if a detective that's on a murder case finds their main suspect at their place of employment, what would they do? Would they do their first round of questioning at that location, or would they take them to this station to do that?
Mark's a detective, so he can answer this.
Yeah. Detective Mark?
Well, I mean, if it's a murder suspect, I think they need to take precautions. If the suspect knew the police were onto him, he could run, take a hostage, whatnot. With other nonviolent crimes and stuff, I'd say they could talk to him at his employment or ask him to come to the station. But I would think a murder suspect would be detained in handcuffs and brought into the station for questioning.
Yeah, and their own safety, basically, and safety of everybody, right?
Right.
That and recording purposes, too.
Oh, yeah, good point.
The biggest thing there was the murder suspect. If you go to guy's work, you go, hey, we need to talk to you about a murder. I mean, the guy's going to take off running or grab a weapon or something. So I'd say
That's not how you did it.
Put him in cuffs as soon as you could and to detain him.
That's not how you did it back in the day. You just walk in and be like, hey, who's the murderer in here?
Yeah.
And then like somebody at the front.
It's that topless girl in the car outside.
Yeah. Somebody at the front counter's like, that's that dude in the back. It's my boss, man. Craziness. All right. Question 10. My mom opened my mail and she said that since it's in her house and I'm her kid, that she can open my mail and that it is not illegal. Can she legally go to jail for opening my mail?
According to according to AI, she's under 18. She's SOL. She's over 18. She might have some legal standing, but then again, is she paying rent, et cetera, and all that? So
yeah, because it gets pretty sticky.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, it's like if you're living under the house for free, you're underage.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure mom can do basically anything. So
she owns you for the most part.
Yeah, and then so the answer would be is if you want to not have your mail opened, I don't know, send it somewhere else or
move out.
Get it before your mom does, I guess would be the answer, right?
Well, it sounds like a young person because they go, my mom, and then I'm her kid. So it sounds like a young person. Under the federal law, it's generally illegal to open mail that's not addressed to you. But the biggest thing, the age of the child, if the kid's under 18, parents aren't going to be prosecuted. They're responsible for their minor children and their property, including mails. Like Ed, like you guys said, if it's a young kid, hey, you're kind of out of luck. But if you're an adult, then the federal law could apply.
Well, and I mean, I don't know the relationship between mom or whoever this is, and you could just have a conversation about it and talk about it. Parents might be opening that mail for a really good reason to potentially protect you from people that aren't, good people. So there's a whole bunch of different reasons out there for why that could be happening, which of course we don't. Welcome to In the News.
Ed, should we play the Jeopardy theme here, waiting for you?
No, I got one funny one here. If you haven't got any, but it's from New York.
Oh, I always have funny ones.
Yeah, is your one the hiker out of New York?
Mark? No, you can go ahead with that one, and then I'll do mine.
4 hikers in New York's Catskill Mountains take psychedelic mushrooms, end up calling rangers for help after freaking out. They apparently got high on mushrooms and got lost and were laying in the fetal position when the rangers finally caught up with them, and they were all freaked out and couldn't find their way back to the trail. So the rangers had to save them. They called him 5 p.m. So he had a debilitating high, according to the Department of Environmental Conservation. I guess that's our rangers. Now, they were less than 1,000 feet from the marked trail. The 4 men in their 20s and 1 hiker was in the fetal position, unable to communicate, according to the New York Times. I guess the moral of the story is don't take hallucinogenics when you're going on a hiking trip.
They're lucky they didn't fall off a cliff.
Yeah, exactly. They never called the Rangers then.
Drug dealer calls the cops after a customer stole $10 from him. A 33-year-old drug dealer in Florida got arrested on Friday after he called the cops and said a customer stole $10 from him. According to this report, Eric Thomas called officers to report a theft of $10. When they arrived, he had 11 baggies of pot in his possession and confessed that the person who stole $10 was there to buy pot. Both of those are no-nos in Florida. During a post-arrest search, cops found 2 bags of cocaine in his wallet. He was arrested and charged with a pair of drug felonies and booked into the county jail. I've actually gone to calls like this. Somebody either got sold bad dope, so they called the police saying, hey, this dope's not real, I paid good money for it, or dealer says, I gave them the dope and they didn't give me the money. You ever have a call like that, Ed?
No, my worst call, even remotely close to that, was I was in the back lot of the PD. Some guy walked up with like a dime bag of heroin and goes, hey, I got heroin in my hand when you arrest me. He apparently was tired of getting high, wanted to go back to jail. And it was one of the hardest reports I ever had to write. Is like, where's my PC? The guy walks up, and who's going to believe me? Getting in court, But it was tar heroin, and he did end up going to jail because he just got tired of using. So that's a once in a lifetime type thing.
Missing man found alive after allegedly faking his death to avoid other charges. North Carolina's own Melvin MD is back in custody after allegedly and unsuccessfully trying to fake his own death. According to reports on August 7th, police received a call from MD's son saying his dad had fallen overboard in a kayak and drowned. That was the same day MD was due in court to answer for statutory rape charges. Cops suspected it was a hoax, but went along with the story while they searched for evidence of a drowning and posted updates on the rescue and frantic search for MD's body. Why did the police think it was all a ruse? MD was still wearing his ankle monitor from his previous arrest, and on the day of his drowning, he was really at a Walmart buying 2 prepaid phones. Wouldn't you think he'd cut off your ankle monitor or something?
Yeah, exactly. Where'd our host go?
Did Brent disappear?
Yeah, he's not on the screen.
Oh, maybe he's on a bathroom break.
Yeah, usually the initial stays up there. But anyway.
Hello?
Tally-ho.
I can continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
If it's still recording.
It looks like it. Yeah, we're on 45 minutes.
A guy carjacked a Lyft driver after booking the ride under his own name.
He just texted me he lost his internet. He'll be back in a second.
A 19-year-old guy is in some trouble after carjacking a woman driving for a rideshare company. He ordered a Lyft ride, and once he got to the destination, that's when things took a turn. He punched the female in the head, arm, and stomach. While being continuously hit, the woman jumped out of the car. As at this point, Charles hopped in the driver's seat and took off with the woman's Toyota Corolla. And it wasn't hard for police to track him down. He booked a Lyft ride through his own account with his real name. I mean, and they wonder how they end up on Stupid Criminal of the Day.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Got 2 more. Brent, you back yet?
No, he will be.
All right. A drunk dad reported his kids missing, but he just forgot them at home. He's dad in Connecticut called the cops to report his kid missing after he popped into a grocery store and they weren't in the car when he got back. But it turned out he was just drunk and he didn't realize he forgot his kid at home. He was arrested on several charges. I think the highest PAS reading I've ever had on somebody was a female with a 0.42.
Of
How
what?
about you?
Alcohol?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I never had that.
0.42. We were wondering how they were still alive.
I always talked them into doing the blood anyway because it's a lot easier.
Yeah. And the last story. Guy pulls gun on a stranger that refused to buy him a Happy Meal. Being denied a Happy Meal from a stranger could put the frown on most people, but this guy took it to another level. According to the report, a man in North Dakota refused to buy a random guy a Big Mac and a Happy Meal at a McDonald's and told him, go get a job. So the guy pulled out a gun, threatened him with it, and got arrested. I doubt there's going to be Happy Meals in jail or prison.
Dried bologna sandwiches with no mayo.
Maybe happy endings, but not Happy Meals.
They'll be Happy Meals.
Yeah, it'd be a happy ending, all right. You get some mayo out of that.
Go to state.
Well, Brent, glad to have you back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. End of the world happening in Northern California somewhere.
Well, at the same time you got booted off, Mark went silent for about 15 seconds.
Oh, of course, but he's known for that. So,
well, no, his internet cut out to where I couldn't even hear it.
Really?
Yeah, yours did for a little bit there too.
Interesting.
Well, so we got to redo the whole show.
No, this will get fixed in post. That's how we roll these days. We'll just put in huge blanks so that it's super interesting to listen to. Then, no, it should be fine.
Earthquake intermission.
So in the news is good. We're good with that. Was there anything else that we wanted to talk about? Give ourselves a plug here and there.
Ed, did you ever get us on the Iron Warriors website yet?
No, I'll discuss that with you at a later date.
Well, they denied you.
No, I can put it on my website, but I got to try and find out if they even got a national website anymore.
Well, everybody, tell your friends, tell your family. If you enjoy listening to us, drop us a note saying, hey, I enjoy it. We want more of Ed, less of Ed.
Yeah.
More Brent, less of Brent. Give us some ideas.
Why are you not in this equation?
Great, but let us know if you like the show.
Why are you not in the equation of less of Mark, more of Mark?
Because it'd probably be less of Mark.
Okay.
Well, Mark's got all the serious responses.
Oh, that's true. So, we suck, and Mark's
I'm like the Ed McMahon of the show here.
And if you were the writer of question number 8, remember to send us a picture for our evaluation on the topic.
So it turns us into the FBI.
Mark has a bachelor's in breastology.
Is that a thing?
It is in Mark's world.
I got to say, that is my weakness.
Well, there you go. So don't send in your picture.
You'll wind up with thousands of pictures.
If she does it with the top 4 inches of the window tinted, then that's a legal window.
I can't believe that rule says the top 4 inches of the window is the only part you can tint. That is bizarre.
Yeah, you look up the Michigan law. That's what it says.
That is super strange. You would think, I guess, front windows, right? That's why. So interesting. So you can see your hands, right? That's I guess that would be the whole point. Or see whatever you got in your hands. So, yeah, cool. All right. Well, I think we're good for this time. Appreciate everybody. Please go to the website, CopTalk.info. Look for the section called Ask a Cop. Send in your questions. We love them. They've been coming in. We're trying to keep up with it, but just keep them coming.
And include the state that you're in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, state definitely won't give away your position in society, I guess.
It just helps us answer the questions a little more clearly.
Yeah, for sure. Because there's a lot of laws out there. All right. Well, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thanks for listening and stay safe.
Take care.